Game audio might be a little high. Let me... See, that's the unfortunate thing, is that I didn't have... Like, some things you can back up and save, but I didn't, Something, you know, when you wipe out the hard drive and then reinstall Windows from scratch, I guess you lose some things like individual application audio settings. That wasn't something that I thought to, like, take note of and back up. Alright. Luke and I began making our way to the Storyteller's Tower, where we hoped to begin our search for clues straight away. We learned that Inquisitor Barnum had told his dog, Constantine, that the tower is home to the most darkest and most hidden of secrets. We haven't much time before the start of Miss Cantabella's trial. Come, Luke. We must make our way past this guard post and into the tower. So this would seem to be a final puzzle rush. A long hallway full of puzzles, if you will. No? Oh, we were Professor Layton, and then they saved, and I guess now we're switching back to them. Which is weird. Are we going to do puzzles during the trial? Are we going to start the trial, and then once in a while we're going to flip back over to them and do a puzzle and unlock a thing? Who knows? It's finally starting. The last witch trial. The witch's court will no longer serve any purpose once the great witch Bezella is burned. Dots. Oh, that's right, she's all blank in the eyes. But Espella isn't Bezella. I'm not buying it one bit. I mean, the storyteller is her father. I don't know what happened between them, but a father would never do that to his child. I think you're right, Maya. But no one else does. They're all throwing accusations at her. I just feel so sorry for Espella. Dots. It feels like this whole case is under some kind of bad spell. A spell? Yeah. We just can't see it yet. That's why it's so vital that we expose the real witch behind this, and we've got to do it during this trial. I believe in you, Nick. Oh, by the way. Yeah? What are you going to do during this trial? I mean, if you were thinking about watching. What? You mean you don't want me to be by your side? Yeah, when he said a spell, I'm like... I didn't take you for such a cold-hearted guy, Nick. That's not what I mean. Let me finish before you... Can I finish? Can I finish? What I was going to say is you can't let people see you. You're supposed to be, you know, dead. You were cast into the flames, remember? Oh, right. That. You mean after I was on trial for the murder of Sir Top Hat. Don't underestimate me, Sir Blue Knight. Huh? I've already got it covered. Check it out. I brought this with me. With this masterful disguise, I shall be transformed into Maya the Ironclad. I found it in Barnum's room, and figured I'd borrow it for a while. Don't tell me you're going to the trial wearing that helmet. I sure am. Can't be Maya the Ironclad without being clad in some iron. Let's just hope Barnum doesn't flip out if he sees you wearing his trusty headgear. Yeah, that's the worst plan. Anyway, I'm going to do what I can to help. We've got to save Espella, right? We will. Come on, let's get going. It's time to break whatever bad spell Espella's under. Man, they're... Some of them... I'm gonna be super... Whatever bad spell Espella's under and put an end to these witch trials once and for all. Right. You're okay with that, aren't you, Espella? I am okay with everything. Oh, it could be anyone's. They are all wearing the same helmet.
There's
Maybe.
a ton of people out there, Nick.
Let's do this. Come on.
Leroy. Phoenix Yankees.
Now, as scheduled, the trial of Espella Cantabella shall commence forthwith. Knights of the court, are you ready now to cross your swords of justice?
The Knights of the Inquisition have spent countless years trying to track down the elusive Great Witch.
Yeah.
The secret of her identity shall finally be brought to light in this very court.
I can't even tell what it's supposed to be. And does she have one on the opposite side or no? Is it just like a tiny little witch hat that's off center, or does she have two of them on?
All those present,
She has
pay
two of
attention,
them on. There
so
we
that
go.
the truth may be burned into your memory. Today, the legend of the Great Witch shall become a closed chapter in the history of Labyrinthia.
This is gonna be like Franziska von Karma, except I'm gonna get clawed instead of whipped.
You could cut the atmosphere with a knife. It's so loaded, but at the same time, oddly subdued.
And now, the whole truth shall be revealed to all. The moon, eye of the night, shall bear witness to that. Don't you agree, Defender?
Your Honor, the defense is ready.
How regrettable. I see you won't allow yourself to be provoked.
Oh, hey, Desi. This is, it's okay. So hear out the whole thing before you decide if you want it or not. It's a Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton crossover that takes place like inside some kind of magical realm, and magic is completely real. And so that's just something to roll with, along with the like. You're in court and people are like, logic? What's that? We only know about magic. I have a spell book. I can't cast spells, but I need to reference spells in order to be like, in order to cast this spell, you need this special gem. And you need to say this particular magic word. And that's like part of the proof. And she's a cat. Probably. No, not probably. She's definitely a cat. She's definitely Espella's cat. People of Labyrinthia, the story has ended. Its end has been sealed through the storyteller's death. The one who put an end to the life of the storyteller, and to the story which governed our lives, was the great witch Bezella. A foul embodiment of evil who has long been lurking among us, concealed deep within the consciousness of a certain girl. I'm sure you are all aware of her name. I refer, of course, to Espella Cantabella. Why is the cat? No. You're the cat. She was the. That's. Now I don't know what to expect. Wait, they actually put the cat up there. I was positive that Darklaw was her cat. Maybe she still is. I've been cat hoodwinked. That could be anyone's cat. Today at dusk, a tragedy unfolded right in front of us all. A giant fire dragon descended into the town square, devouring the storyteller. This is something that happened in a Phoenix Wright game. 'Twas a nightmarish vision that we shall never be able to forget. That fearsome fire beast, of which we had only heard tell through legend, returned at the hand of the Great Witch. Indeed, it was just as in the illustrations of the legendary fire, the Densetsu no Honoyo. And the girl, within whose heart lies the Great Witch herself, has committed her final and most heinous crime. The crime of patricide. May this trial serve as an offering. An offering to the storyteller who can be with us no longer. Thank you, High Inquisitor. The Inquisition may now begin proceedings. As I have said, this unthinkable crime took place in the town square, within plain sight of all labyrinthians. Everyone is a witness. Surely there can be no need for a formal interrogation. You can't say that. I suggest you mind your temper, Defender. In a few moments you will have no option but to accept the truth. Once we hear it from the very mouth of the accused. From Espella? you can't claw and slap. It's gotta be one or the other. She's got a super combo. The Inquisition hereby demands that the accused Espella Cantabella testify about her crime. Or rather, that she confess to it. The Inquisition's request shall be granted. Bring Espella Cantabella down to the witness stand. This is it, the last trial. In all likelihood, Espella will admit to the charges. I have only one chance to break whatever spell she's under. When she testifies, there are bound to be some clues to the truth in there. Now that you're here, witness, state your name and tell us your real name as well.
My name is Espella Cantabella, but I have another name too. Bazella.
Looks like her head's on fire. The claw slap. The clap. Or the slaw. Dabbing slaw. Order in the court. Then you really do admit it, that you are the Great Witch. You openly concede that you are Bazella herself, the cause of all evil and destruction? Yes. I know it, we're done. She's Bazella, rabble rabble. How terrifying, rabble rabble. She killed her own father, rabble rabble. How dare she kill our beloved storyteller. We don't want a trial, we want to see her burn. The Inquisition was right. The accused herself has spoken. It would seem there is no need for an interrogation. I assure you, there is none. The only possible verdict has been clear to everyone from the beginning. Let's hear a spell. Why did she... How many cats everywhere? She's got a cat on her clothes, too? Everything is cats. Magic exists in this world, right? So if you think about it, a spell could be under the influence of a spell, too. What I would like to know is this. Just who in the world are you, young knight? Oh, me? How to put it? I feel as if we've met somewhere before. It was, where was it again? We haven't. It's just your imagination, your honor. I mean, my lord. As for who I am, I'm with Sir Blue Knight. Not in a romantic way, of course. Is this a friend of yours, Defender? Yes. And, don't comment on the helmet, please. She really wouldn't like to have her face seen. How can I put this gently? It's not something you would want to look at. What are you talking about? You make it sound like there's a problem with my face. I never thought that a spell might be involved in this world of magic. I can assure you we have no interest in your face, miss. Although I do wonder where you acquired that particular helmet. Why is that? A helm of that ilk is not something you can simply purchase from a street stall. Well, I found it in the forest. Finders keepers, you know. What are you doing, Maya? You promised you wouldn't draw any attention. Sorry, Nick. I lost it a bit. Well, anyway, the defense's opinion is as follows. We should hear the defendant's testimony before coming to a verdict. There may be some things even she isn't aware of. How amusing. As this is to be the last witch trial ever held, perhaps it is only fitting that we cross swords before you accept your defeat. I agree. Thus, the accused herself will now testify. Miss Cantabella, tell the court of your involvement in this incident. I finally realized that Bezella has been lying dormant within me. Once evening fell and the rain ceased, I climbed up the wooden stairs of that bell tower and awaited the parade. I waited for my father's speech to end, and then I summoned the fire dragon. I don't know why I killed my father. That was a very unusual testimony. When you used magic against your father, were you doing so as a spell Cantabella, or as the Great Witch, Bezella? A most fascinating query. However, it matters not. The Inquisition has ingeniously solved the query by disregarding it. What matters is that Bezella exists within this girl. Being a witch is a crime. Such a fundamental rule will always hold. Bashful Bat, hi! And this girl here is not just any witch. She is the Great Witch. The Dai Majo. Espella has admitted the charges, just as I suspected. I just have to hope I can find some contradictions in her testimony. If I don't, we can kiss this trial goodbye. The defense may begin the interrogation. Defender, steady your sword of justice. Should I see it waver or point in the wrong direction, I will not hesitate to cut down your arguments and end this interrogation. You had better keep that in mind. Is this going to be the no pressing rule? Is that what's going on? Or not yet? Alright, so really the only thing... This is the main thing I want to press on, I think.
Hold it!
You summoned the fire Oh yeah, let me look at the spell. Summons forth a great fire dragon for the caster command, responsible for the legendary fire that lit the town ablaze so many years ago. Yes, that's the one. Although I won't say it now. I'm sure something terrible would happen if I did. That's fine, absolutely fine. No need to prove that statement. In fact, the court forbids you to prove it. Of course I won't say it. Come on, this is supposed to be the Great Witch? Look at her. There's no way Espella is a witch. It must be like you said, Nick. Someone's cast an evil spell on her. Something in this testimony keeps nagging at me, that's for sure. I just need to figure out what. No, it's... This is oddly specific about the rain. Where were you before that? We were looking for you. I'm not sure. When I came to, I was in the town. It was pouring, so I wanted to go to Aunt Patty's bakery and wait for it to stop. But I couldn't face her, so I just went to the forest instead. So you were in the forest until the incident? We couldn't find you, though. The rain finally stopped, and the time came. I made my way over to the town square. I was feeling strange, as if I wasn't myself. dots. Then I noticed I was looking up in the bell tower. Or I was up in the bell tower looking down at the square. Estelle is not a witch, and that means that she's not a witch. There's got to be something strange about this statement. About that statement in particular? What do we have for evidence? Anything? Case outline. Spews. Flower-covered robe. Found at the crime scene. Because Patty showed up and she threw a bag of flour at somebody. Flowers stuck to rain-soaked patches. Contraption. Oh, this is the thing where you can fit the, you can fit that jewel in there, but we never tried. Crime scene. Okay. Right. Vigilante's report. The bell tower was constantly guarded and there were no trespassers. Okay, so that's... Okay. This cross-examination should be pronounced guilty. Talk about drastic measures. Okay. Let's press on everything, just to make sure. I have a feeling it's, we're gonna say that the tower was guarded, so she couldn't have gotten in. You say you finally realized? Yes. I've always had a feeling, but my memory is rather hazy. I've always felt as though I'm not who I think I am, and that I've forgotten something very important. Incidentally, when did you become aware of Bizella's presence within you? It was when I went to the Great Archive with Mr. Layton and Luke. Ever since I saw the mural depicting Bizella, I started having strange flashbacks. I saw things from the distant past, memories of the legendary fire. The legendary fire? I saw it. I was there when it happened. I saw the town consumed by flames. You couldn't have. That's impossible. The legendary fire occurred over 100 years ago, and there were no survivors. Yes, I know. Wait, I missed that part. There were no survivors? Explain. Explain how every single person was killed. That's weird. But it's true. I remember it happening. Because I'm Bizella. Alright.
Hold it!
Bonk. That may be because you didn't kill him.
Objection!
It's useless, Defender. Witness, who killed the storyteller? It was me. I summoned the fire dragon. I killed him. The storyteller chose his own death. That is a fact that cannot be changed. 'Tis common knowledge that all things written in the story will become a reality. That's the other thing about this world, is that it is within a storybook, and the guy writing the book decides everything that happens. And he's the guy who's been killed. And Bizella's appearance has been written into the story's final chapter. She has no choice but to act out her role that has been written for her. In other words, everything happens in accordance with the storyteller's story. Nick, have you noticed how weird Espella is acting today? I sure have. It's almost like she's a puppet, but who's pulling the strings? The real Inquisitor Darklaw. Eve. Nick, look! Check it out. It's Eve. She must be here to root for Espella. I don't think a cat's emotional support is going to help us all that much. You know, I've never seen... No, wait, I saw one of them. I saw the first parrots. The first parrots of the carrot. Well, this is an unexpected intrusion. But as we're in the middle of an interrogation, I will ask the witness to carry on with her testimony. Yes, my lord. Are we gonna have a little, like, cat reaction? Or wait, now that the cat's here, has one of these changed?
Hold it!
Oh my gosh, we do have the cat here. Okay. This little thing normally only pops up during So we've already read this, so I'm not going to reread it, but I'm waiting to see, does the cat... Usually the little magnifying glass that lets you switch between people
Hold it!
shows up not during the press, but during the testimony itself.
Hold it!
You got something to say about that cat? I didn't think so. Something has to be different now that the cat's here. Come on. Okay, maybe it's the last one.
Hold it!
Objection!
This is so different that I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Normally there's like a super obvious cue, like a pops up that's like, oh, somebody reacted to this, go and question them. Has the whole game been a tutorial up to this point, and now is the hard part where I have to actually examine a cat's features closely? Gotta find those contradicting fast. Nick, we can't let it end yet. Even Eve showed up to root for us. Eve? Oh right, the black cat. If Bazella is always accompanied by a cat, she should have had it with her when the incident happened, right? Now that she mentions it, I think I saw a black cat at the bell tower when that happened. So I could present this, but I'm trying to metagame here. It's got to have something to do with the cat showing up, right? That's got to be part of the solution, I would have thought. I just want to press this again. Are you a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? Are you doing it? Did you do that? Did you change her eyes, cat? He's pointing out two statements that he says, oh, there's something strange about that. Makes me unsure. All right. We're going to present the fact that it was guarded.
Objection!
Okay, cool. Vigilantes were guarding the bell tower all day. Is that the Vigilantes report? Indeed, and according to this, the Vigilantes have been constantly guarding the entrance to the bell tower ever since it appeared. However, there is nothing about Espella going up the tower in their report. Your memory must have failed you. That girl is a witch, the Great Witch at that. It's only natural to assume that she used something akin to invisibility magic. Isn't that so, witness? Yes, I used an invisibility spell to enter the tower unnoticed.
Objection!
Even magic follows certain rules in this world. Witches need to be holding a Telea Magica in order to use magic. And you weren't in possession of one at the time. Oh!
Objection!
How horrifying your ignorance is. Excuse me? Did you honestly think the difference between a regular witch and the Great Witch was in name alone? The Great Witch, unlike other witches, can command any magic she desires without the use of a witch's scepter.
Objection!
Objection, I didn't know that. Every labyrinthian should know about that. A witch's scepter can hold only 2 magic gems at once. Phew. Who ever heard of a great witch that could only use 2 spells? Gah! Order! Order! In any case, this should convince you that the accused entered the tower. This is a sketch showing footprints? It was raining before the parade reached the town square. Obviously, if you walk through muddy streets before climbing up a staircase, you will inevitably leave footprints upon the steps. This sketch shows that there were indeed muddy footprints present on the bell tower stairs. And since you'd no doubt be quick to ask, I can tell you that they match the sole of the accused's shoes. It's certain that the accused climbed up the bell tower after the rain had fallen. They did mention that before? It's probably a while back. Very well. The court has said, accept this sketch into evidence. But there were no muddy paw prints. I almost pity your defender. The evidence you threw in our faces with such verve was sadly useless. Indeed, it would seem there were no problems with that testimony after all. Let us not waste time. If you could carry on with the interrogation. That is, if the defender hasn't run out of ideas yet. The judge seems ready to announce the verdict any second now. I've got to find a flaw in her testimony, and fast. I need a solid lead in this case. So now that we have that... Now that we have that piece of evidence, what's different now? How does that change things? Let's get the hint. Is it really going to be that there are no cat... Like, I can't present that. That there are no cat footprints. Let's ask her about it again. But the vigilantes that were guarding the entrance didn't see you.
Objection!
Obviously, that would be because... Okay, it is a different press now. We're getting somewhere. Obviously, that would be because she used an invisibility spell. Yes, that's true. That's true. Estella, do you have a clear recollection of using such a spell? I don't. But I left footprints on the stairs, so I think it's pretty clear that I must have. The cat agrees. That cat also agrees. You're still cat. You're still Eve. What's clear is the evidence. There can be no room for doubt. Really, Darklaw? I'd say it's pretty clear that we don't have all the facts yet. Anyway, I better try a different approach. It's gonna have something to do with the robe.
Hold it!
Finally realized. Always had a feeling. Memory rather hazy. Forgotten something important. When did you become aware? When we were at the Great Archive. Mural. Densetsu no Honoyo.
Hold it!
Maybe this will be different too. Grandworm. Something strange. And I think I know exactly what was bothering me about it. She used that dragon summoning spell, but didn't have a witch's scepter. The Great Witch can use all spells without using a scepter, right? I mean, that's a little too overpowered, don't you think? Nerf Bazella, please. Well, it's probably what makes the Great Witch, well, great. She'd be a pretty sorry Great Witch if she could only use 2 spells. I guess so. Continue the interrogation. Was that line wasn't there before. It's only there because we now know that she doesn't need a scepter.
Hold it!
Huh. That may be because it didn't kill him. It's useless defender. Who killed the storyteller? Her eyes go blue. It was me. There's something the game is not telling us. What is going on? Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's periodically do a save. If Bazella's always accompanied by the cat, she should have had it. Yeah.
Objection!
No, didn't do it. We have gathered here to deliver the final judgment on the Great Witch. This trial is strict and its results irrevocable. Okay. Is it gonna be that, like... Are they gonna try and say that as soon as the rain stops, her robe shouldn't have been wet anymore? Or something?
Objection!
No. Flawless trial status, flawed. Never said this one would be a perfect trial. It's not Danganronpa after all. She goes, and then I summoned the fire dragon. I don't know if the shape of the gem is relevant, but that one does actually match the shape of this. I don't know how that matters. This isn't a contradiction. I'm gonna try it anyway.
Objection!
No. I am not getting it. Press on everything. I'm waiting for, like, for him to finally say something that makes the cat react. We've already had it where finding out information and then pressing on something with, like, just having knowledge of that new information makes his response different.
Hold it!
Objection!
This is a better try a different approach.
Hold it! Hold it!
Objection!
The cloak didn't get covered in flour until close to the end. After we discovered, like, after we all ran up into the tower after he had been killed. Actually, who even had the cloak? Was she wearing it or was someone else? This is the one that he says is a strange statement.
Hang on!
I have a question for you, Eve. Eve! Just what on earth are you doing, Defender? Huh? I was just... Eve is the spell's friend, so I was wondering if she might want to have some input. Whether or not this furry little witness can contribute to the testimony seems to be obvious at a glance. Maybe I just have to do this on any statement? Is that so? I guess questioning a cat wasn't the best idea. Where's Luke when you need him? Do you wish to say something, High Inquisitor Darklaw? I just remembered a line from a fairy tale that I heard when I was little. A fairy tale about Bezella. The great witch Bezella is always accompanied by a black cat. Or so it claimed. It would seem there was a grain of truth in that fairy tale after all. That's true. Eve always follows me. Always? Oh, Nick, that means... They must have been together when the incident happened too. Somebody already said that. Now that she mentions it. Okay, I did forget that. I also didn't notice that you were on fire at the time. The cat was being incinerated. Eve was with me in the bell tower. I think I just needed to press this anytime. Your Honor. Yes, Defender. The defense requests that Ms. Cantabella's comment be added to the testimony. Very well. Request granted. Witness, add what you just said about that cat to your testimony. Yes, my lord. My cat Eve followed me, as always.
Hold it!
So the cat, Eve, always follows you wherever you go? Well, not necessarily always. Then why did you use the word always? But when I'm especially sad or happy, like when something out of the ordinary happens, she's always there with me. I can't remember since when, but Eve has long been my dear friend. Is something amiss, High Inquisitor Darklaw? No, it's nothing, yeah. It just made me think of that little dog that follows Barnum around. You mean Constantine? That little puffball is so cute. I bet Barnum cuddles him all the time when no one's looking. When you climbed up the bell tower, your cat was with you, is that correct? Yes, she was quietly following me. Espella looks so happy when she talks about that cat. Dots. Cat dots. Darklaw.nya. Okay, so now I present the sketch. Whoops, that sketch.
Objection!
No muddy cat footprints. I'm sorry, Espella, but there's a problem with that statement. A problem? You went up the bell tower in the evening after it stopped raining, correct? Yes, I think so. After all, there's proof of that. My footprints were left on the stairs. That's right. There were footprints on the steps. However, there's something missing in this sketch. Missing? What do you mean, Defender? There are no paw prints of Espella's cat, Eve. Oh. You said Eve was following you, right? Slam. In which case, naturally, there would have to be cat paw prints on the stairs as well. Ah!
Objection!
And here I thought you would say something that makes sense. Such a silly assertion as that can be easily explained. The cat must have climbed up onto the accused's shoulder. Was that not the case, witness? Yes. Eve was on my shoulders, I think. She dislikes dirt, so when it's muddy, she tends to climb up on my shoulders.
Objection!
Then why didn't you say that before? You testified that the cat was following you. It's...
Objection!
This is such a trifling matter. Do you think you're in a Phoenix Wright game or something?
Objection!
It might seem that way to you, but it has important implications. It shows that Ispella's testimony is unreliable. What? What do you mean? For a while now, Ispella hasn't been testifying in her own words. All the vital parts of her testimony have come from High Inquisitor Darklaw. She made Ispella say those things.
Objection!
Are you claiming that I, the High Inquisitor, am responsible for making the accused commit perjury? Well, if that's not the case, then there's one more possibility. Namely, that the witness, Ms. Cantabella, has no clear recollection of what happened this evening. What? Are you saying the witness has no memory of the incident? Ispella, do you actually remember what happened? Do you remember entering the bell tower and summoning the fire dragon? Yes. You say you also remember the legendary fire which burned this town to the ground. Yes, I do. Even though it was a long time ago. And you remember tonight's events just as clearly? Do you truly remember summoning that terrifying fire dragon and killing your own father? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm Bezella, am I not? Exposed? I can remember it. The legendary fire. So then why can't I remember anything about what happened tonight? Your Honor, the defendant is confused and cannot remember what happened. Therefore, she must not be a witch. Her confession that she is the Great Witch is not credible. What are you talking about, Defender? She admits that she's Bezella.
Objection!
Her testimony doesn't hold together. I am more than one person. Who is the other one within me? Genocide Jack! No! Ispella! Court attendants, carry the accused to the emergency care room. But leave the cat. I have some questions for it. A brief summary of the accused's current situation. Ispella Cantabella became extremely agitated during the interrogation and proceeded to lose consciousness. She remains unconscious, though her life is not in danger. Until the verdict, at least. Is there some reason why she can't take the witness stand while unconscious? That's a relief. She had me pretty worried there. Nick, I don't mean to sound insensitive or anything, but this is just what we needed. I'm not sure I follow. The professor is out looking for clues to help us out, right? That means all we've got to do is buy some more time until he returns with his findings. Maya's right. That's just what we're going to do. Your Honor. It's impossible to continue the trial while the defendant isn't present. And also, it's possible that someone at the crime scene was manipulating the defendant. The defense proposes an intermission in order to carry out further investigation. What is your opinion on this, High Inquisitor Darklaw? My opinion is that the defender is just playing for time. She saw right through my plan.